Hey all, welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look about video gearing for new players. The last guide we did, it picks off when the season ends, but we have information that we are not gonna get a new season right after this one. I assume in the future we'll get new seasons, but how do you do gearing when you don't have the season? Today we're going to explore that, and we are going to show you guys just how easy it actually is now. So let's just jump straight into it. So without a season, you won't be able to get Tuvala gear. And Tuvala gear is a really amazing piece of gear. It's way easier to enhance than the normal boss gear, and you'll basically be able to get the materials for free while playing on the season server. When there's no season server, what do you do? Now, they introduced a new item just last week, and this new item is actually a lot easier to get, and it's almost as good as Pen Tuvala gear. Now, what is this new item? The new item is called Narcillan gear, and I have the armor pieces right here. We got the shoes, chest, gloves, and helmet. And I have 10 Tuvala pieces here to compare, so you can see just how good it actually is and what the difference is. So as you can see, the Narcillan gear has more stats, more DP than 10 Tuvala gear, and it also has better item effects. So if we're looking here at the boots, it gives you 1 movement speed and 4 monster damage reduction just on the boots, compared to Tuvala gear gives you nothing. We'll also take a look at the item set effects. So the 2 set effects of having Narcillan gear is 5 monster damage reduction, 3 sets you're getting resistance to debuffs from monsters, and the 4 set is basically the same, except it also gives you plus 100 HP. Now, these stats and these effects are very similar to the Black Star gear. Each of these pieces gives you monster damage reduction, basically giving you DP or DR in PvE scenarios, which is super good. Especially because they are lower stats than your TED boss pieces. You'll still be able to grind pretty much all the same spots with this. Now, I do have 1 Pen Tuvala piece, so we can compare here. And as you can see, it's slightly worse on the stats. It has 3 less DP on the chest, but you still gain those item effects. So you're getting that monster damage reduction, you're getting those set effects, etc, etc. Now, if you have Tuvala gear and if they're bringing out a new season, you can actually break down the Narcillan gear and use it to upgrade your Tuvala gear even further, basically adding monster damage and monster damage reduction onto your Pen Tuvala gear. An amazing option if we get a season back, or if you are somebody that just completed season now, you still want to get this Narcillan gear, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. Now, how do you get it? Well, you need Pen Narrow gear. So instead of taking your Pen Narrow gear and exchanging it for Pride Tuvala gear, you can take it and exchange it once per family for the Narcillan gear. So we're going to do that now. You need beginner blackstones. You can get these from either doing the main storyline. So if you're a new player, you want to do your main quest line up to and including Medaya. You're going to get thousands of these beginner blackstones. If you don't have the Narrow gear from doing a quest, you'll probably get it along the way. You take these, you talk to the NPC here, Fugger, exchange, and we need to get a main hand, and we need to get a sub weapon. The beautiful thing about enhancing Narrow gear is how easy it is. It's very straightforward, and you don't actually need any fill stacks. So to enhance it, you throw it in here, and make sure you have a lot of these. Throw them in, and we just start clicking. You don't need fail stacks for this. Now, fail stacks does affect the success rate, but as you'll see, the base rate is so high that you pretty much just put them in and you keep clicking until it goes pen. That's pretty much it. Now, we need some more of these. Oh no, we ran out. Now, you should have enough of these stones normally, but if you're like me, you ran out for whatever reason, maybe you are not a new player and you don't want to do the main storyline again, like me, how do you get more of these beginner blackstones? Well, it's very simple. You go into healing and you throw in your normal blackstone weapons and you just start. Now, as you can see here, it takes 3 blackstone weapons to make 1 beginner blackstone. And while that is fairly expensive, at least right now, the blackstone weapons are at an all-time low. They are min priced, so it is as cheap as it will ever be. But obviously, it's up to you if you'd rather just do the main quest line, get some more beginner blackstones. One thing you might have noticed is that these beginner blackstones and the Naru gear is character bound. Now, this is actually not a problem because when you take your pin Naru gear and you exchange it for the Narcillan gear, you get a weapon box that you can then open on any character you want. So if you are a player that are doing the quest on an alt, or maybe you're not sure about the class you want to main as a new player, don't worry about it. You can still make a pin Naru gear and exchange it, and then you can just open this on whatever class it is you want to have the Naru gear, the Narcillan gear on. Once you've made your pin Naru gear, what you do is you find the Fugar NPC. He's in every major town right next to the stable keeper. So you'll find him in Valencia, Caltheon, Heidel, etc, etc. In Bilia, he is right here again next to the stable keeper. So you go to this guy and you take the quest. The first time you talk to him, there's going to be a quest for every piece of gear. I've already done the one for the armors. Still missing the offhand and the main hand. So we're going to pick up the main hand quest here. And as you can see, we'll get a Narcillan main hand weapon flux. And we'll talk to him. And we will hand over our pin Naru main hand. And just like that, we have the Narcillan weapon. And you want to do this with all the pieces, so you get the full set of Narcillan gear. So the TLDR version, if you're a new player starting out and you want to get the best start of the game, what you want to do is do the main storyline, just follow the quest line all the way up to and including Medaya. You'll get a lot of beginner blackstones along the way. Use that to enhance full pin Naru gear. You do not need any fill stacking. You just put it in and you click until it goes pin. And then you take the pin Naru gear, you do the quest from Fuga and turn it into a full set of Narcillan gear. After you've done that and you want to progress further, feel free to check out my gearing guide. It's called From Season to Endgame, and it's going to take you through all the steps, the items you want to go, and in the order you want to go it at. And again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to drop by my Twitch at twitch.tv/Biceptimusprime. I'll see you in the next one.